Hey guys, my name is Jay Furious. Welcome to another video, and today we are reacting to Backyard Stories. I swear something felt like it was something to come up my nose. By Let Me Explain Studios. It's been a while since I watched Let Me Explain Studios video. I think the last one was like it was like a YouTube VidCon it was a VidCon recap. That's what it was. Part 1. I didn't even get to part 2. So I might do that this week. I don't know. But, yeah, so I've barely go into my backyard besides letting the dogs out and maybe sitting with them for like a few minutes. You know, watching them poop and pee and just crawl around me. But yeah, I mean, I just don't go into my backyard or my front yard. Or just anywhere out of my room. I barely leave my room. Like a freaking introvert. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, like, and comment to Let Me Explain Studios and myself. And yeah, let's get into the video.
Yard, the personal wonderland of suburban kids everywhere. A place of curiosity and imagination. A minefield of anthills and lost Hot Wheels. A peaceful refuge where the greatest
I don't think I ever
memories
played with
are
Hot
made.
Wheels when I was a kid.
Girls! She did it! Hello, my geeks and peeps, my explainers and entertainers, my little oodle ollies. Rebecca Perry
My little
here.
oodle
Backyards
ollies?
are
What's an
great.
oodle
They have
ollie?
grass and trees and fences. To a kid, they could be the plains of Africa, the jungles of Papua New Guinea, the great
Papua New
wilderness of
Guinea.
Alaska. Or the perfect place for a treehouse. Can I just go on record to say that I freaking love treehouses? I mean, look
To
at
me,
these.
treehouses
They're
are,
mystical
like,
and
awesome.
woodsy and full of character.
You can literally actually have a
Away
house.
From people. Look at this one. I want to live there. I want to hook it up with Wi-Fi and a sauna. I want all the local
Hook it
kids
up
to
with
call me the
Wi-Fi?
witch of the woods and tell stories about how I'll steal your toes if you get too close to my house. I want to be a ghost story. Wait, we're off topic. Backyards. A staple of suburban living. I lived in suburbia as a kid with all the trimmings. Neighborhood kids to play with, nearby woods to explore, a school I could walk to and from. And you can't forget your standard issue bully that lives up the street. My bully kid was named Jocko.
Jocko?
Now, Jocko wasn't your run-of-the-mill bully kid. You know, the
She
big
didn't know what
thundering
to say.
monsters that you stay away from at all costs, like a Canker Sister or a Flats the Flounder. No. Jocko was more like Buford from Phineas and Ferb. Still
Buford
a bully,
was cool,
but one
though.
that got involved in the adventures, and you invited over for a game of baseball sometimes. He was a weird one for sure. One time we were over at his house in his backyard, and he needed to, release the hounds.
Release
But
the
instead of going inside
hounds.
and doing his business like a normal person, he popped a squat right there in the grass and made fertilizer.
Bro, I mean, if
And
he
then his
wanted to
doggy.
do that,
He also once found a lighter in our
he could have
backyard
done
and decided
that.
that he wanted to make a campfire. And my sister and I
and
were
that's
just
weird, but
like,
whatever.
yeah, sure, sounds fun. At some point during our tomfoolery of gathering things to incinerate in our campfire, Jocko wanted to act all tough, so he pointed the lighter at me and my sister and lit it. Just so happens, at that moment, my mom looked up from doing the dishes and saw
You finna
that
burn
in the
someone,
window.
boy?
And she ran out screaming at us. Unsurprisingly, Jocko had to go home. Glad she caught us, too, because we weren't even messing around at that point. We were gonna light a freaking pyre. Give the hellfire and brimstone preacher something to talk about, if you know what I mean. Lord, save us from the unholy demons known as the Param children, thank you, Jesus. Actually, my dad did call me a firebug sometimes when I was a kid because I tended to like fire, and still kinda do. Hey, it's warm and pretty and gets rid of evidence. Everything you want in a boyfriend. But the big story that I remember about Jocko was the tree incident. One day, my sister and I were playing baseball with Jocko in our backyard when one of us hit the ball over the fence into the neighbor's yard. Our neighbor wasn't
This
home
gonna
and
be
their
like something
backyard
like the
gate was locked,
Sandlot?
so Jocko came up with a bright idea. He began climbing our giant oak tree so he could swing over to the neighbor's
Bro,
tree,
you aren't
climb down
Tarzan?
and retrieve the ball.
You ain't
And Rachel and
Tarzan?
I just stood there watching him climb, periodically going, "You're gonna fall. We're gonna have to call the fire department to get you down." Which I think only strengthened his resolve to make his brilliant plan work because he just kept
Your
climbing.
negative
Now,
only
strap
makes
in
me
for this
stronger.
one, Spence, it gets good. When he got close to the neighbor's tree and was about 15 feet off the ground, he grabbed a
Bro, you finna hit your
pencil-thin
balls on the
branch in his
fence?
hands and actually tried to swing to the neighbor's tree like he was freaking Tarzan.
Exactly.
Apparently, Jocko has never seen a Wile E. Coyote cartoon because then he would have known better. Who says cartoons rot your brain? Guess what? The branch snapped.
How your day, bro?
Ah!
What did you do? Break your balls or something?
Jocko Jocko had not only fallen, no, he had crashed through the neighbor's wet bar, which my sources tell me is a bar or counter equipped with running water and a sink for serving alcoholic beverages in a home environment. And Jocko had completely obliterated this thing. It was like a dinosaur had stepped on it, just went pfft.
Woo!
Jocko was screaming so loud that his dad, who was working in their front yard up the street, heard it, came running, and kicked in
He's
the
Spider-Man,
neighbor's
bro.
gate to get to him. He ended up having a broken arm, which I'm still surprised to this day that that's all that happened. From the damage that I saw to this wet bar, I'm surprised he's not dead. There should have been some fractured ribs or brain damage or something.
Nah, you just got a broken
Well, I
arm,
guess
bro.
If you're meant to hang, you won't drown. He also had to pay the neighbor back for the wet bar, just to add insult to injury. Rolling on with the theme of breaking things, my sister and I actually did the childhood cliche of breaking a window with a baseball. You thought that opening skit was just a witty farce, huh? No, actually happened. My sister and I were in the backyard playing baseball with the neighborhood kids. Big surprise.
I don't know why,
I
but
was
I thought
pitching,
that
she was
long-haired
batting.
boy
I
was
tossed
like
her the ball,
one of the game
she
grumps.
hit it veered off to the right and crashed
How does
right
that
through
even
my
work?
parents' bedroom window. And everyone in that backyard except Rachel.
She must have hit it
the
hard
deck.
though. I mean,
My parents
that's
came racing
pretty
outside
good.
and found my sister standing there with bat in hand, completely flustered. Both of my parents were mad, but my mom told Rachel to go get her piggy bank because she was gonna pay for it. But Dad jumped in and said, "Hey, that's not fair. It was an accident. Every kid gets to break one window with a baseball."
Wait, what? That's not how it
that
works,
was my
Dad.
for ya. He never forgot what it was like to be a kid, so he wanted the most fulfilling childhood for us, including all of the classic mistakes like breaking a window with a baseball. So now I gotta tell one on me. About time, I suppose. When I was about 9 and should have known better, I'd sometimes pass the time in the backyard by taking an old fence post, laying it over the side of our raised garden beds, and jumping on the end of it, launching an array of different materials into the air. Rocks, pebbles, grass, sticks, anything. This is what we did
That's
before we had the
disgusting, that
internet,
last
kids.
one.
One day, I really wanted to launch a ball off of my makeshift catapult, but there was a problem. The ball would roll off of the fence post before I could launch it. Physics. Who knew? And in order to complete my little experiment, I needed an assistant. Oh, David! My little brother David was about 3 at the time and was very susceptible to suggestion, which worked out perfectly for me, not so perfectly for him.
Oh,
I told him
God.
on the count of 3 he was going to put the ball on the fence post so I could
He's
quickly
like, he
jump
looks
on
so
the other end
confused.
before
He
it
like,
rolled off. Simple
what?
enough, wouldn't you say? But when I counted to 3 to commence our experiment, he did something a little unforeseen.
You like, all right,
leaned
bro.
down directly over the fence post to very carefully
Oh
place the
no.
ball. And by the time I
boy.
looked over and saw him doing that, it was too late. My entire weight came down and the fence post smacked him right in the face. Well, I'm dead. I bequeath everything to my Teddy Ruxpin. David rightfully screamed at the top of his lungs and ran inside to Mom and Dad, who were not happy at all. David's whole face swelled up and there was a puncture wound on his cheek that was maybe an inch away from his eye, and he still has a scar there to this day. I got in a lot of trouble and my parents yelled at me that I could have blinded him, even though it was an accident and he wasn't supposed to put his face over the catapult. But I felt really bad, to the point where I still felt bad years later into adulthood when someone would bring up this story. But now, I've animated it and shown it to 1 million people, so it holds no more power over me anymore. Animation, my antidepressant. So yeah, backyards, imagination, magic, wonder, childhood trauma, you get the idea. But seriously guys, go spend some time outside, get some sunshine and fresh air, it builds character.
I'm
It's also
pretty good,
really
bro.
good for your mental health. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, but wait a minute, Editor Becca here. I've got some things to tell you before we officially tune out. I'm gonna be at PAX South again January 18th through the 20th in San Antonio, Texas. I'll just be walking around, so come up and say hi. I'm also gonna be a featured creator at
So yeah, y'all can go to PAX South. Y'all can go watch the original video so you can hear all of this stuff. So yeah, I all I know is that when I was a little boy, I was in my grandma's house, and basically I was like outside, and I just like we have like this big thing of bushes, like tall trees, or it was a grandfather tree, and there was like all these rambles, and I don't know what you want to call it. Either way, I could like go through it, and it was like some Jurassic Park type stuff. And I just got my little big old stick that was strong enough, and I just started swiping like I was on a Dragon Quest. But other than that, I mean, I never really went outside. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Subscribe, like, and comment to Let Me Explain Studios myself. Have a great day. Have you ever been outside? When was the last time you went outside? And yeah, goodbye, my fellow reactors.